don't have my PC set up yet, so this is being streamed on the PlayStation, which kinda limits what I can do here. But for right now, we're pretty much just gonna take a look at your VOD here. I already see that you picked the Reinhardt, which is pretty interesting. I'm not gonna get into metas and whatnot, but you do have a Zarya, the Moira, Lucio. Even the McCree is pretty good in Brawl, so you're running a pretty optimal comp for the first part. What it really just comes down to is if you can create that space. Because right now, Reinhardt's in a very difficult spot in the game where he simply doesn't have the mobility to compete with heroes like Sigma or Ball, which we do see they actually are playing the Ball, which is a okay combination with the Orisa. I don't know, they're actually going to switch to Reinhardt. Still, pretty weird comp, but they can make it work. Already, you're kind of wasting shield and you really don't need it. Good fire strike. You needed to move faster there to punish the Ball. Pretty much what the Ball does, he shouldn't ever be the first pick, but if he's in position like that to be killed, definitely go for it. He's never actually going to get kills, right? His main priority is just to be a nuisance. Hanzo gets picked. That's good shield in there, just trying to help your McCree. Right there, you don't need to drop off high ground. I think you... Actually, I don't know why you dropped. You weren't really in a position to lose that point whatsoever. But instead, you kind of just give them high ground, a free leeway onto your team, which is really bad. Because yes, you lose Hanzo, but your McCree still really thrives from having that high ground. And since you gave it up, the Reinhardt gets a field day up there and just forces him off. Which, in return, Vara can just do whatever she wants to your team. Yeah, lucky there, your supports actually played very well and kept what I saw from the most part everyone alive. Now you know Ball's behind you, but as a main tank, you don't need to be distracted by that because you're just giving the Ball what he wants. As Reinhardt, you should never really turn around to deal with the Ball. I don't know why you're staying up point here either. Once again, you're running double hit scan against a Pharah. So them establishing this high ground is everything. You lose the fight if they don't get high ground. And again, you chasing after the Ball is a soft throw because you're not being a main tank. I can understand maybe if you're a Hog or even a Diva just kind of trying to chase the Ball even a little bit. But if you're playing any sort of main tank, I don't want you to chase the Ball. If you're playing Reinhardt, I don't even want you to turn around to the Ball. I want you to focus on being the main tank. You need to maintain space. The more you turn around to deal with something that's not going to kill anything, the more of a chance your team's going to lose. Because not only do your hit scans lose high ground, they also don't have a shield. And against the pharmacy, or I guess pocketed soldiers still, that's too much damage for them to be taking in. Here, you are incredibly lucky she grabs, and that their Reinhardt's bad, the block there. That he could have pinned you at any point, and even if you went for the counter pin, there's still a pretty good chance you would have been punished. I'm not going to give you too much slack, or too much stuff for that. I mean, fight was over, but you just got picked. Your Lucio waste beat, but you do know that you need shield visor, that's good. There's no reason to pin there. That is you being greedy, and that... Obviously, there wasn't a big room for mistake, like it wasn't like he's gonna kill your whole team, but you just can't risk doing stuff like that because you never know. If their team wasn't like they weren't down 2 and if they were waiting, they could have pushed in immediately. You're fine. That's fine. See, if they're not pushing in, it's fine to just kind of look at the Ball and stuff. Go for a fire strike. And shield is in. Why would you pin? Right there, if their Reinhardt knows what he's doing, he knows you don't have pin. So what he can do here, right? He can either pin you in the bubbles, or the Zarya bubbles you, given she gets a lot of charge, yet that is a very bad, I'd say mistake by you, because you don't have bubble for mid-fight, and the Reinhardt is just going to walk on you because they have coalescence, you don't. So he's going to have more heals. Or you don't have bubble and you just get pinned because you wasted pin. I don't know what you're trying to do there. I think you may have saw a soldier and you thought he was going to walk in. But you need to be careful about that, especially on this point, because pin can really find an easy kill here. So both coalescences come out. You waste pin again. I'm saying, if this Reinhardt is better, you're punished every time you do this. Or if they have a brig or anything, you gotta be more careful about this. You're backing up, they kill your mortar, or it looks like your mortar fell off the map, you die, because they just got picks and just whatever. Questionable getting in there, skip ahead. You get back. I don't know if there were comms this game, so it's hard to tell if your team thought this was winnable. Doesn't look like, yeah, it doesn't look like your team was ready for that at all. And it didn't look like there's anyone too close to really help you with that shatter. So you kind of just throw out shatter there in hopes you're going to kill 3 people by yourself, but that's just not realistic. Given you are playing Reinhardt though, so you will build it pretty fast as long as you hit good fire strikes. Now you guys swap over to the ball, which isn't necessarily a bad pick. It's actually pretty good. It's just you're limiting what the ball can do, because you kind of just stand there and wait till he engages something. So what you need, as long as, I mean obviously, oh wow, you needed to counter pin that. You don't have a Zarya, you can't have bubbles. And you can't pin long range like that because you're just pinning to the backline. It's harder for your support to keep you up. Now what I was saying, right? I don't know if the ball knows what his job is, but right now, his job should be applying as much pressure as possible to that Ana. As soon as he goes in, that is your moment to walk on them. That is your moment to try and walk on the Reinhardt, because that Ana is either going to be distracted, or hopefully, by some chance, dead. You waste Coalescence, that pin's very bad, but you kind of got lucky. It worked because you had Cole. Like, I don't know what your SR is, I'll have to check out to this game. This looks maybe gold or plat, low plat. If this is diamond, you're punished every time. Big tip on Reinhardt is don't go for long pins. Go for short ones where you can't be punished as hard. That was a good block. But oh, you need the shield there. There's no reason to not shield. But that would bring me to my next point. You didn't need to hold your shield up for that whole duration of bomb, right? Because you're wasting duration, and the longer you keep it up for them to break, there's a high chance you're not actually gonna have it. I'm assuming you pinned back and didn't get to see it, so that's why you didn't have a pin. Walking the Ryan, that's good. See, Baby Diva, you're with Lucio. That's an okay push. See, it's okay for you to branch out and try and punish that Diva. That's understandable. The fight was pretty much over, and she was very killable. Unfortunately, it was just you and Lucio, so you can't really punish. Counterpin, you don't counterpin, which gets your Moira killed. Your Moira thinks you're gonna counterpin because you're right in front of her. And because of that, they're able to use ults and you don't get a Coalescence off. So that fight's kind of on you. You lose that because you let your Moira die. Let's save that tree. You just need to back up now, there's no reason to fight this. Cleaning up this is fine though. The team's kind of feeding. The ball's fine, but McCree's playing very risky and he gets punished for it. He doesn't have the mobility of ball, so he can't really do anything about it. That's a good shatter, but you're still making it very, yeah. You're making your support's job very hard. A thing about shatter, try not to immediately pin a shatter, because overall, you can't necessarily even guarantee a kill with the pin, because if you go in so far, you get naded, slapped, punished, killed before he gets off. It's very risky. However, if you just fire strike and just swing your hammer into it a few times, they're both going to be one, and your team can easily capitalize on it, as you had Cole. And you kind of get lucky that their teams didn't punish you, as you were kind of antied. So, realistically, that's a moment where you should have been punished. Lucio is, I mean, I would say that was a bad play by him, but I guess he's just confused. You need to pin out of there as fast as possible. You can get out if you pin right there. You don't need to be waiting, and that's not necessarily the worst, given how you're going to get there before they, well actually no, that's still risky. You need to pin out of there as fast as possible. Another long range pin that's really risky. Naded. Yeah, once again, if you get punished for being nated there, your team possibly loses the fight. Or they don't lose, but you die. Because your DPS kind of carried that fight. Honestly, from what I'm seeing right now, you have you have a lot of shield mistakes and pinning mistakes, where you just don't know when to do either. Let's see if I can get back to you. Oh my god, my settings are so dumb for this.
Well, it's high noon somewhere in the world.
There we go. No, it's not gonna work. Guess not. I'll have to wait. I'm not really gonna judge your picks here. If you ever do pick like a wrong hero in a composition, I'll point it out, but I'm not really gonna like really care about it too much. Can I go back in there? What, first person? There we go. I didn't even get to see who was behind. I was trying to fix that. Looks like it was ball? Yeah, ball. So immediately, you know they're running ball, bash, and Pharah. That's free high ground, right? If I were you, if you're taking the high ground there, your McCree still has a much easier time killing the Pharah, and your Baptiste has an easier time keeping everyone alive. That was... it was the wrong play from you. You know they have a Bastion, but you peek out so far, you know you won't be able to regen your shield. That's dumb. You do not need to shield that orb whatsoever. You're full health, it's not going to do anything to you if it sucks you. You have a Moira, Zarya, and your Baptiste, like, that's just, you're wasting time, and you're not contributing anything to the fight, right there. You have no shield, but you know it's kind of an even fight. You're down McCree, but they're down Orisa, so realistically, now that you're playing double hit scan as well, you're kind of up. The Bastion has no main tank to really work with, and the Pharah has to worry about more. This is a very dumb play. I hate this, and this is mistakes Reinhardt's make a lot in plat or gold. They try to be bumper, but that's not how you win. You dying leaves your whole team vulnerable. So now their team can just kill your backline because you're not there to shield them.
My ultimate is charging. Join me.
You don't need to be passive there, and you don't need to take the health back. If I were you at this point, it's like you took nearly the whole attack to build one shatter, and you're not finding any value whatsoever on Reinhardt. It doesn't matter if you're playing Zarya. You should switch. Now, I don't want to worry too much about the heroes you play, but Reinhardt's not the move here against the comp they're running. Heroes that would be better: Ball, Sigma, maybe Orisa. But the Reinhardt, you're trying to brawl into a comp that you can't brawl into.
Join me. Group up.
Now you have a bash and your DPS is switching a lot here on attack. Trying to get your team to go with you because you realize high ground is what you need to do. Your ball doesn't, or Bastion doesn't self-heal, so he kind of feeds there. You don't need to be right there. I don't know why you're chasing a ball. You know you're not going to kill him. You're still giving them high ground. So now you're going high ground. That's good. You don't need to drop whatsoever. Put shield down, you're fine. Now you... I don't know how you didn't know where that Bastion was. It looked like you kind of lost. But your team just kind of presses triangle so you win. That's an okay shatter. I like that. You're just guaranteeing a kill on an ulti Moira, which is really good. You're making sure she can't kill any of your team, she can't keep anyone alive. Personally, knowing how they already lost the fight and she was 1, I would have saved it and solo shattered the ball for this moment. but still, I don't have a problem with you ulting the Moira. That's a fine play. You need to pin this ball. You're not going to be able to kill him just by swinging, unless your DPS is getting one. Now you need to go for Bongo, which you're prioritizing Ursa. It's fine. McCree handles that. I'd say unless if you're actually going to pin the ball, you need to be shielding for your team because they're still running a poke competition, really. Your DPS are going to be doing more damage, right? If you're holding the shield so they don't have to worry about the spam up front. So you're just going to stay on cart here, so fast forward it. So we're seeing they're switching out the Orisa, and they're actually switching to an Echo as well. So Diva, Echo, new swaps. Are they going to switch to Pharah, I wonder? Because you are still playing the McCree, who's been pretty solid. Their Diva feeds. That is a dumb play, and their ball is wasting ults. I actually have Soldier down instead of Echo, I just didn't realize that. There's 3 people on cart. You should be the last person to stay on cart. Your job is main tank, so you don't need to be this passive. You need to be taking space. Like that corner right there where you just fire strike, that's where you need to be. You need to make sure that any team doesn't have all that free space to push up on you. Because if you move up, your bad piece will know that he has to stay on cart. That's an unnecessary coalescence from your Moira, but you win the fight anyways, and she gets pulled back pretty fast, so it doesn't matter. Once again, you need to take space here, and your team will realize that someone else needs to go back. I don't care if they're yelling at you in comms that go back on cart. You have a greater chance at losing if you're not taking space. Right there, keep on moving up. Even if your bat doesn't move up, it looks like your Moira is aware of where the cart needs to be and who's on it, so she would move back. Which isn't ideal, but it's better than you moving up. Once again, this Diva's horrible. I mean, she's just bad at the game, so that's kind of a free win. You swap back to an Ursa jump. Oh, you're very lucky you get bubbled there. You're staring down the barrel of a huge spam comp. And that is a dumb shatter. You should know that you're not going to get that off. Just want to rewatch this. Actually, let me skip it. Skip it again. You're going hog now. That is an okay pick. It's not the best pick, but it's not really a great one. It's just average. And your team wins anyways. You made a lot of mistakes. And I'm not saying this to make you sound like you played bad. You were pretty solid. I don't think you really made a whole lot of mistakes that really costed, or that could have costed the game. However, you made a lot of mistakes that costed fights. If you have any questions, feel free to DM me. I could have gone more in depth, and that's my bad. Once I get a PC, I'll be able to stop, edit, and do all that. But yeah, if you have any questions, DM me.